everyone. So Victoria and I have just done an excursion to help us to get better at what we do as learning designers. So Kim tasked us with this, and what we had to do was we needed to use our non-dominant hand to find a tree, go outside and draw the tree with our non-dominant hand. So Victoria, would you like to show what your end product is?
This is my tree.
Oh, that is beautiful.
And this was my reference photo. So it's very, very accurate.
Wow. Yeah, I couldn't even tell the difference between your drawing and the tree. Your drawing looks like a photo.
Let's have a look.
Beautiful. Well, this is mine.
That is stunning.
It's a beautiful,
as well.
There's a lovely palm tree. Yeah, I've signatured it and everything. So what we had to do was we had to reflect on the process of drawing the tree with our non-dominant hand, how we felt when we were doing it, and then think about how we might be able to apply what we learnt to our work as instructional designers, learning designers, developers. So yeah, did you want to share what you felt and what insights you got for your work, Vic?
Yes. So mine are all kind of tied in. Like I'll tell you what I felt and then what that made me think I could apply. So the first one for me was before I started, like I felt scared to put pen to paper basically. Like I felt like afraid to start because I didn't want to mess it up. And so when I was reflecting on that, it made me think how like when you're working on something, you just need to start it because it's so much easier once you've already got something to work with. You can always, I mean, I didn't redo this, but like you can always redo things. Like I was like going over the same line like 4 or 5 times. And yeah, it just made me think about how like pretty much anything you do can be fixed, but it's just so much better once you've got something out there to fix or to like reiterate or go back over.
That.
That was the first thing for me. The second thing was while I was trying to draw it, I kept like forgetting what it looked like and kept thinking about like, is this even right? Like, does this even look like what I'm supposed to be doing? And so in that task, it looked like, I just need to keep looking back at the tree. Like you just keep checking back and like comparing. So the learning for me for that was, it's always good when you're working on something to remind yourself of like what the big picture of or like what the output is. So you shouldn't hesitate to like keep referring back to whatever your original task was or what the intent was or whatever. Like you just need to have that picture front of mind all the time. And then the last thing was I did keep wanting to switch to my right hand. Like I kept being like, this is too hard, or I can't get this right. Like I really want to, it would be so much easier if I just swapped my right hand. And so that made me think about how sometimes when you're working on things, you want to take like a shortcut or like the easy way out on things. And I mean, sometimes shortcuts like are beneficial to whatever you're doing. Like if it's, you can have the same output, but save some time. Like shortcuts do have their place, but it's not always the right thing to do. Like you shouldn't always be for the easy or the quickest way. If it means like for this, I would have basically like failed what my task was.
Yes. That is so good.
My reflections.
I love that. Very cool. All right. So mine was similar to one of yours where you have to like keep looking back to make sure it looks the same. But I had like creating something that reflects reality takes focus and attention. So you can't just like make it up in your head. Like you need to like keep looking back and like focusing on it. So my like application to our work is to like pause, don't rush things, and be present with reality. So for our like human-centered design process, like make sure that you speak to the end users and you're present when you're listening to them and you're like completely understanding what their problems are. And you're not just like making assumptions, you're actually like being present with their reality. So that was my first thing. The other thing was, so it felt uncomfortable because it was my non-dominant hand. But I think like everything feels uncomfortable at first, but you start to get used to the uncomfortableness because I felt like the longer I did it, sort of the easier it got and the less likely I was to want to like use my right hand.
Yeah.
So for that, I was like, you will get better at things as a learning designer and just keep at it. Like the longer you do something, even though it feels uncomfortable, like over time, it will become more familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just like keep going. I noticed that when like I was like in a flow state and I was really enjoying it. And I think that makes me think of like you need to find work where you are in that flow state, because after the task, like I felt more energized than when I started the task. So I think you're much more likely to be successful if you're passionate about what you do and get into that flow state with your task, because you'll have like more energy and more excitement around things.
Yeah.
So find what you love. I think the other thing was like there was no pressure for what the output had to look like. So I think you can be more creative when you don't put as much pressure on yourself. And that made me think of like, don't think that everything you produce has to be perfect. Similar to what you said, like just start something, and that can help you like be more creative and be less focused on like it has to be this way. The other thing was like I thought no two people would have the exact same drawings. So like obviously yours and mine are very different, but even if we're looking at the same tree, like I think our outputs would have been very different. Like mine would have been much better than yours, I think.
Yeah.
But but that makes me think like you need to like embrace what makes you unique. Like whatever you create is going to be different, and don't try and copy other people. Just like focus on like what you produce, and you can like create something really unique. And then the last thing was like using the non-dominant hand. I feel like it made it flow more and it was less rigid. Like usually I'm really perfect and try and get the lines like exact, and then it can look like blocky and weird, but because it was like my left hand, like it was all over the place. So it looked like it was meant to be imperfect. So it like looks so cool. And that made me think like you should like mix it up when you're working on a task. Like don't just do things the way you've always done it. And that could look like working from somewhere else, speaking to someone new before you start the task, changing your routine, like completing a task outside instead of inside. And that can create like new creative results. So that was my insights.
Yeah. That's really good. Yeah, we came up with like different stuff, but it's crazy that a random activity like that can trigger so many learning.
Yeah, I know. It's weird because like you wouldn't think you'd get so much from it, but actually like it was so easy to come up with like insight for new ways to do things and stuff.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That's really cool.
All right, everybody, that was our excursion. Go and give it a go if you want. Go and find a tree or anything in your environment and draw it with your non-dominant hands. See what comes up for you. And if you want to share what insights you had, feel free to share it in the comments below so we can learn from each other. And we will see you in another video.
What's up, awesome human? Thank you on behalf of myself and the Belvista Studios team for continuously choosing to learn with us. We really appreciate it. If the tips and the insights and the context resonate with you and you want to take your skills to the next level, or you want to make your life way easier, you will love our Creator Hub. The Creator Hub is a place for people like you and us. Basically, it's the stuff that we use internally at Belvista Studios, and then we just share it publicly with you. The Creator Hub is created by instructional designers for instructional designers, and what you'll love there at the moment is we've got a quiz, Could I Be a Better Instructional Designer?, that has so much tips in the feedback if you're interested in human-centered design or just taking your skills to the next level in terms of the solutions you're creating and the problems you want to solve. But in there as well, aren't we cute? That's us. But we've got the coaching courses, freebies, give us gratitude, and also we've got some templates. And basically they're always around the lens of learning experience design, instructional design, and e-learning. So a human-centered design focus is very much what we're about at Belvista Studios. So putting your learners at the heart of a solution and creating something for their needs. So there's the human-centered design stuff, and then we've also got the business stuff. So this is the stuff they don't teach you about when you want to become a freelancer or a consultant in the instructional design world. So go check it out. The link is in the description. You can check out everything that is available for you. Thank you for choosing to learn with us. Continuously invest in your skills. You will be rewarded as an instructional designer. Share this stuff, Share it with other people, because when we are better instructional designers, we create better solutions that create better humans, that create a better world. So we have a very important role, and I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Have an awesome day.